The Ariana Grande situation is getting out of hand.
And promoting this type of image can be very damaging to a young and influential audience.
Why did Ariana Grande become so thin? People thought Ariana just changed her style.
To protect yourself from that noise. And I think it's something that is uncomfortable no matter what scale you're experiencing it on.
Trigger warning for this video. Please remember there will be some very sensitive topics spoken about, such as disordered eating disorders in general, conversations about body image and weight loss and weight gain. If this is something that you don't want to listen to or that you might find harmful, please click off and we will see you in the next one. Today we are talking about something that keeps coming up in celebrity culture, and honestly I think it is really starting to become quite harmful, the way we obsess over people's bodies. Specifically today I want to talk about how the media is focusing on Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, and how a lot of the Wicked for Good press conferences are centred around their weight loss. Is it really comments about health, or is it just a bit of public gossip and a bit of a spectacle? I think we also need to talk about the bigger question at hand. Should we even be talking about people's bodies in the first place? And if we are, where do we draw the line between cruelty and concern? To understand, I want to give you a little bit of background. So in recent interviews and social media, Ariana Grande has responded to the persistent criticism about her weight and weight loss.
Giving dinner and someone's granny says, "Oh my God, you look skinnier, what happened?" Or "You look heavier, what happened?" It's like, that is something that is uncomfortable and horrible.
She has recently just shared her interview from 2024 where she was very teary and was sharing about how difficult it is to live under constant criticism. In that moment she said, "I have heard every version of what's wrong with me, then you fix it, and then it's wrong for different reasons." She went on to say how dangerous it is when society become really comfortable when making comments about someone else's body, not just when it comes to red carpet events, but just in day-to-day life. Beyond Ariana Grande, there has been quite a few sources that have really picked up on the weight narrative surrounding the Wicked conferences. It is eerily becoming very weight comparison focused. People are sharing side-by-side photos of the celebrities, speculating about weight loss and eating disorders and competitive eating habits, and many worry that it is taking away from the conversations with the movie and the celebrations of these actors, and rather just policing their bodies. A lot of people are arguing that these are comments of concern. However, some people are also saying they are harmful and invasive and perpetuate this toxic beauty standard conversation. So Ariana Grande is not staying silent. She has been very vocal about how her current body state isn't what people are assuming. In a TikTok video, she did explain how when people thought she was at her healthiest weight, that was actually her worst stage. She had said she was on antidepressants, she was drinking, eating very poorly, and said that this was not a healthy version of herself.
I just wanted to address your concerns about my body and talk a little bit about what it means to be a person with a body and to be seen and to be paid such close attention to. I think we should be gentler and less comfortable commenting on people's bodies, no matter what. If you think you're saying something good or well-intentioned, whatever it is, healthy, unhealthy, big, small, this, that, sexy, not sexy, we just shouldn't.
And she did point out something that is really important. Health isn't always what the internet thinks their definition of it looks like. There are many ways to look healthy and beautiful, and there is not a one-size-fits-all picture. Ariana has also been commenting on the fact that people are just too confident and comfortable talking about people's weights, saying that we shouldn't really act like it's okay or normal. But I do think some of the commentary is really focused with concern. I think it is a really difficult territory when we start to talk about disordered eating and mental health issues and how we approach it and talk about it in public. I think it becomes a lot more difficult when we start talking about celebrities' images and speculating their health based on weight. It can really reinforce some dangerous ideals and is focusing on weight narratives that we don't need to be. And a lot of experts are saying you can't just assume someone is healthy or unhealthy just because they look a certain way, which argues when we speculate about eating disorders without any real confirmation, we really run the risk of stigmatizing people and potentially oversimplifying the mental health crisis. So I do think a lot of people are worried, but I'm not sure how helpful public speculation really is. Now, I want to be really fair and acknowledge there are multiple sides to this story. Some people, including those who have had eating disorders themselves, argue that sometimes outsider intervention can be life-saving. There are individuals who genuinely don't think they have a problem or can convince themselves that extreme weight loss can be fine or controlled, or that it's not really that bad. I think that perspective is really valid, but the question does become, is it really the role of strangers on the internet to intervene? Is public speculation from fans and tabloids or random commenters online really an effective way of helping someone? Is it the compassionate way to address someone with a potential eating disorder? Or is it really risking more harm and potentially the feeling of more shame and risking someone not reaching out for help? It is a really complicated situation. People do want the best, especially for people they admire, but I think there's also a fine line of not overstepping into territory that is really none of your business. And I think that in general is highlighting how difficult and delicate these conversations really can be. We don't know what someone is going through privately, and how you navigate things can really determine if they're going to get help or if they decide to hide things. Amid all of this discussion, Cynthia Erivo has also spoken up on this situation. Erivo has publicly defended Ariana and has said that this is cyberbullying and that it's quite dangerous. She says she tries to be the counterpart to the negativity and offers her support, encouragement, and just gentle reminders that people deserve respect and not complete body policing. Although they are co-stars, I think it is very clear that they are mutual friends and that they have a lot of care and support for each other, which I think is a great thing. The situation is definitely representing a much bigger cultural problem. People seem to think that celebrities' bodies are public property. I think a lot of fans think that they are entitled to talk about these strangers' bodies realistically, and I think some people start to equate value with weight and image. When people talk so much about weight, we risk reducing someone's value to how their body looks. And of course, when you speculate about health, I think it really can be a double-edged sword. I don't know if there's much benefit, and again, as we mentioned, mental and physical health does not necessarily have a standard image. People can be different sizes and appear to look different ways, and they can be doing really well or really not well. And I think it really begs the question, why are we so focused on other people's bodies? Should we just be focusing on their talent, performances, and what good things they get up to in the world, not just reducing it down to their weight loss or weight gain or anything in between? And I do really want to heavily focus on this next part. The uncomfortable truth is that by people really hyper focusing on someone's weight, such as Ariana Grande's weight loss, even if we are saying that it's because of concern, it can really actively re-trigger eating disorders, both in the people we are talking about and the people who are actively watching. Because I think when we are actively talking about how much weight Ariana has or has not lost, and a lot of people are comparing her before and after photos, or they're speculating about what she is and isn't eating, we are reinforcing those exact behaviours that are fueling eating disorders. We are focusing on metrics around the body. We are also validating the idea that weight gain or weight loss is something to track and monitor and comment on. And the thing is, the celebrities might not see that one commenting on their weight loss or weight gain or physical changes. However, millions of other people online will, including vulnerable young people, people in recovery or in the depths of their own struggles. And for someone with an eating disorder, seeing comments like, she looks better now she's skinny, or she looked healthier before, or this weight loss is extreme, or this is what starvation looks like, these can be really harsh emotional triggers. They can definitely reinforce harmful thoughts, justifying destructive behaviours, or I think it can really push someone towards a relapse. I think even those conversations framed as health concerns can really accidentally validate disordered eating patterns, because I think again they're implying that weight signifies health, which isn't necessarily the truth or the whole truth. So it brings up a very complicated dilemma. When we see celebrities or influential people showing behaviours that might be disordered, what do we do when there are young people who are looking up to them and are idolising them and seeing these behaviours pan out? Because it is true, celebrities do influence a lot of people. They influence trends, beauty standards, and self-perception for a lot of people. If a young person sees their favourite celebrity shrinking in size, or promoting restrictive habits, or just normalising rapid weight changes, that can really impact how someone views their body. Not because their celebrity is being directly and intentionally harmful, but because of the visibility and how often these celebrities are seen in media culture. So people argue, should we really be ignoring this? Should we not be calling it out? So it's a constant dilemma. Are we calling people out to try and protect people from these harmful patterns and thoughts, and really trying not to encourage disordered eating? However, by speaking about these patterns without being informed, without really knowing the full truth, are we then potentially putting risk and encouraging those weight talks again? I think there is a bit of nuance to this, and realistically, if a celebrity seems like they are struggling, or if they are indeed engaging in unhealthy or extreme behaviours, they do deserve compassion and ultimately privacy, not a public diagnosis from strangers. At the same time, I think we can also still have those broader conversations around body trends and unrealistic expectations and the pressures that these celebrities are facing, without adding case studies of individual people to these scenarios. So I think a big thing is, how do we talk about the impact of celebrity culture on young people without tearing down the celebrities themselves? It is a line that people do need to navigate really carefully, especially in a world where everything for a woman is documented and criticised and zoomed in on, as if it's just public property. I don't want to focus too heavily on Ariana Grande's weight loss or her situation. However, that has been a conversation that I've seen popping up that I think is potentially very dangerous and concerning, and I definitely think it has intensified the conversation, especially with Ariana, and that's why I wanted to touch on her for this complete video essay.
Fridge of lettuce and a black coffee. When I'm hearing the discourse now, and I have for years, it's really, really hard to listen to. Where communities of us built, kids, all using this. And I'm so sorry.
So an old Tumblr of Ariana Grande's has resurfaced, and a lot of fans described this as a thinspo page. Earlier this week, multiple users on Reddit and Tumblr archived screenshots of an old post that Ariana had shared, where she talked about her weight and dieting and strict eating habits. Over the last few days, it has seemed to have disappeared off of Tumblr. I had personally seen this post in person on Tumblr about a week ago when I was getting this all ready for the video. I haven't found it, I can't find it, so I'm not sure if it has been scrubbed completely offline. For a lot of people, of course, this felt very significant, especially for timings. The fact that the post seems to be visible from last week and is now seemingly gone, it could seem that Ariana's team is trying to clean up, just trying to get rid of any information that could reinforce her bad behaviours or seemingly bad interactions with food and her weight. Others are arguing, of course, it could just be something Ariana is embarrassed about and that she wanted it removing from the internet, maybe something she no longer identifies with, and deleting it is just a form of self-protection. But this is where things are really worrying, and I think this is a really big undertone to this whole conversation, and it is something called thinspiration, which is found on online communities. It is deeply harmful, especially among younger audiences. Thinspo content heavily glorifies unhealthy weight loss, extreme dieting, or extremely unhealthy body types as something aspirational. Platforms like Tumblr, especially in the early 2010s, were notoriously saturated with this kind of imagery. A lot of the posts were actually framed as motivational or lifestyle just content. However, countless users did say that this type of content really fueled their disordered eating, body dysmorphia, and long-term mental health issues. I will be honest, I struggled with my mental health as a teenager, and I definitely saw a lot of content like this, and it is very harmful. It is not something that people should be seeing online. And when fans are now discovering that Ariana had something along the lines of this, one of the most influential artists in the world that is seemingly looking like 2010s thinspo Tumblr content, her body is just getting under so much scrutiny again because of the links that people are making. I just think people are having a very complicated emotional response to it. Some feel concerned, some are showing their worries and feel like she's just not listening and are taking offense to it. Others feel like by digging these older posts up, it's just really complicating things, and that it's really reinforcing those constant body image monitoring conversations again. People, I think, are trying to prove a point with the now old thinspo Tumblr content that she had seemingly posted. I don't think we should be here to prove a point, and again, her weight or whatever state she's in is nothing for us to judge or self-diagnose online or any of those things. We don't need to prove that she has a problem. It's her life. And if she is unwell, I hope she's getting help. If she's not unwell, I really hope that she's just ignoring the comments. So if commenting on bodies is really as dangerous as we are saying, then what should we be doing? I think speculation is just very dangerous. So I think if anyone's speculating things, there needs to be a lot more caution. I think unless someone publicly states their conditions or issues, I don't think we should be speculating further than that. We can't diagnose from afar, and it's really none of our business. Focusing on artistry is also very important. They're in the spotlight because they're artists, because they have skills in certain areas. Talk about their performances, talk about their creativity or their characters, not just how they look. And I just think remembering compassion is really important. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and there could be 101 reasons for any situation or things that we just don't know about. And I think as well, just supporting healthy discourse around any conversation is really important. To wrap it up, I don't think the conversation surrounding Ariana Grande is just about her weight loss or body shaming her in particular. I think it's reflecting a toxic cycle that people really need to break. The public feels entitled to comment on people's bodies. I think the commentary also often really ignores or doesn't think about the potential mental health concerns in the background, or just the cost of speculation itself. Even the best meaning concern for someone can turn into something very harmful. And I also think there is a lot of power in choosing empathy over judgment. I think we need to be prioritizing the people instead of their appearances. We need to uplift voices and really respect struggles and just recognize that health is not a uniform concept. Where do you think the line should be drawn between public concern and public cruelty? Do you think there can be a space for both accountability and empathy? I'd love to know what you guys think down below. And if you resonated with this conversation and video, please subscribe down below and hit like on this video. I'll be honest, I didn't want to focus too heavily on Ariana Grande, as again, I don't think it's helpful. I think since there is a lot of conversation around her weight loss, that conversation needs to be had about why are we discussing it in the first place. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.